Well, talk about bad vibes because Tisha was not here for any discussions about the Black Expo, which I thought was quite interesting. Well, go on, people. My Inquisitive crew, let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, if you caught up with the most recent episode, then you'll know that Tisha really was not here for any type of feedback at this baby reveal. Now, obviously, it's not necessarily the right place, but it was Kimmy that brought up, the Black Expo, and then everybody started to chip in. But I'm just sitting here watching Tisha talk about, well, she don't want nobody's feedback. I'm like, come on, woman, this is a business that you're running. Having constructive criticism is part of business. But no, Tisha felt like she was being attacked and even got up and bopped off at one point, which just made me laugh a little bit. But Stormy went and got her back. I thought that Tisha came off rather shady and rude, particularly towards Nell, because I felt like Nell was just trying to ask the question or answer the question because it was Kimmy that brought up the fact that, feedback and she knew that she was upset. So she actually probed that conversation to happen. But I felt like, damn, Tisha was on smoke for Nell. And Nell was definitely not here for it. So she was shading back as she should, But I just thought it was a bit unnecessary because a lot of that was what was happening was because of misinformation from Tisha and from Marceau. The whole thing about, paying for the event out of their pockets, they didn't really flag that they did get some sort of help from others. So you can see where there's some sort of misinformation and miscommunication because they seem to be telling two different stories, different people. If you're depending on who they sit down with, it seems the story seems to change. Now, Stormy made me laugh, as she usually does, particularly when she told Tisha that her husband is acting like a woman. And I have to agree, because he definitely does act like a woman way too often. And, of course, Melody was quick to agree with that. And I thought it was interesting that Tisha was kind of slow to even, check Stormy about calling her husband a woman. I guess she obviously knows just to stay out of his mess at this point because it's just ridiculous. She defended him eventually once Kimmy said, oh, well, no, he doesn't act like a woman. Then she picked up. But I just thought, oh, poor Tisha, she's just over it. She's over the nonsense at this point. Now, of course, Kimmy went to go and tell her hubby, Maurice, about the discussions. And Maurice is obviously going to knows that his brother is an asshole, but also, wants to clarify the information because he definitely, stumped up some cash to his brother. And his brother did say, and they showed the clip, that, it came out of their own pocket. So there's definitely misinformation, but not necessarily from the ladies. It's definitely coming from, Marceau and Tisha at this point. Because they weren't clear in the beginning when they set up the damn expo. Now, Nell made me laugh because I feel like she comes across quite nice. So does her hubby. But I think because of the way Tisha was so defensive towards her and just shaded her straight away, she is definitely not necessarily team Tisha at the moment. Particularly when Mel asked her, if she can see herself building a friendship. And I thought it was quite right when Nell said to Melody that, her and Tisha are more like frenemies because they don't follow each other on socials. They have each other blocked and all that kind of jazz. I was here for the math ain't mathin' conversation about Tisha and Marceau owning the business because, like they said, if you own 85% of the business, you should know what's happening. But you know what Marceau's like. I can see him just saying, okay, yeah, come on, babe, do this, do that. So he can, put her forward for funding as being the woman owner, like Mel mentioned. Also, what part of it does he own then if she owns 85% and they still have another person involved? So, yeah, the math ain't mathin' convo had me cracking up. Now, poor Kiki seems like she's going through it. Mentioned she's been in and out of hospital. She's having issues with her medication. Her hubby didn't seem to impress. He wants her off of methadone, which obviously is quite a strong opioid. But I'm just wishing her well because it seems like she's going through it. And we need her back in the mix because she is hilarious to me. Now, of course, this sit down. Marceau is such a gaslighting troll. Like, I actually think that he looks at this whole thing as a sport. Like, he's just, picking at the different women. Like, Kimmy mentioned, he's just been beefing with everyone from Tiffany, Stormy, Mel now. And with Mel, I'm sorry, I feel like this man is slightly obsessed, in love obsessed. Because why are you always coming for Mel? Always coming for Mel. And then, when she's wiping her eye, you're talking about Mel don't cry. I'm just like, this man is such a gaslighting dickhead. So it made me laugh when she told him, basically, you're basically a bit insecure about Tisha. The idea of her, leaving him and getting on her own and doing her own thing. Although it did seem like a bit of a spiteful comment to say, you hope that she leaves you. But, obviously she's in her feelings. She's going to say what she says. But she also feels like, obviously, her being an independent person, is something, that he doesn't want for Tisha. And you can see that because he's always tried to hold Tisha back as far as I'm concerned. But we know Tisha, to me, isn't going anywhere just yet. She loves off her husband. That ain't happening. But these two in their conversation left me cracking up. I do feel like he is slightly obsessed with Mel. Like, it's just not normal at this point. Like, why do you always try and come for her? And you're trying to belittle her. And why do you feel it's the need to belittle women all the time? You really know Mel's about her business. She's helped you out. And by looks of it, based on next week's highlight, I'm glad that Martell looks like he is vexed and about to cuss up the place about the way this man is behaving. Because at the end of the day, they have brought business to him. So he needs to humble himself and just chill. It is a bit too much for my liking. But anyway, what did you think of the episode? Let me know your thoughts below.